Hello again, how are you doing? I've just come to this remote field again to read the next chapter, chapter 19. It's a very personal chapter, this one, and you may not want to listen in because it's very personal, because it is me writing a letter to my old friends in the cult that I was born into. And if you have been in a religious cult yourself, I've got a question for you. Do you think it would be profitable to write a letter to your old friends, telling them in a very candid way, speaking from your heart, what life is like for you since you've left? Do you think that would be of any use, or would it be useless? Maybe it would be good for some and not for others, I don't know. But for myself, in writing the book Cult Escape, I decided that I wanted to. And in fact, this chapter, I was sitting in a Wetherspoons pub, and I got my laptop open and a blank page, and I wrote a letter to my old friends. And you know, with this, what I'm going to read, which is directly to my old friends, but as I say, if you want to listen in, you can do. It just flowed through my fingers non-stop. It took me about a quarter of an hour to write, if less. And so this is my letter, because and I've written it and published it in this book Cult Escape, which is a campaign created to form to create awareness of what is going on in religious cults. And I'm speaking from my own personal experience as someone who was born into a cult of which destroyed my family by its laws, which meant that my family had to completely separate and cut off the family members who did not worship, bow down and conform to the will and dictates of their leader. So, letter to my old friends. And in the subtitle is Let's Talk. Dear old friends who are still members of the Exclusive Brethren, aka Plymouth Brethren Christian Church, this is directly for you, my friends. Hello, how are you all? I'm John Spinks. Some of you will remember me from the Liverpool Assembly a good few years ago. Hi Max, Tomo, Ian Co, my old best friends. Some of you will know my dad, the greatest pour of scotch, and my dear mum, best cakes on the planet, weren't they? Great parents. So it's been a while since we used to have a few good laughs. 1988, in fact. I disappeared all of a sudden, if you remember. You must have been devastated. Anyway, why am I writing to you now, and why should you even read something, or in this case listen to this video, from someone who is very, very misbehaved according to certain laws? By the way, you don't have to read this letter if you don't want to. You don't have to listen to this video. You are free as far as I'm concerned. If you keep reading, you will find that I'm just going to be real with you, honest and to the point. Well, I might ramble a little sometimes. Some things don't change. You see, I've grown up a little from my youthful years. Quite a lot, in fact. I seem to have a lot more love nowadays. That's what I mean by growing up. Love is the only measure of worth, the only currency of value, the only hope for mankind. Well, that's what I've come to experience anyway. Does that sound good to you? I mean, God is love. Can't get any higher than that love. Can we? And I love you too, I really do. I do feel love for you in my heart. It's there. And I reckon you love me too. There's a good reason to communicate that, don't you think so? So, first of all, I want you to know that I'm not aiming to violate your free will. Love never does this. I have no desire to disturb your trajectory in your life and change you. You are free to follow any doctrine of man that you want to. You have your life journey to explore, your heart, and make the decisions that you choose. You ought to be loved no matter what and given the space to make up your own mind. I will not violate the space you choose to be in. That would be control and presumption. I am not being presumptuous when I say that. I know how you feel. My heart had a bent, an aptitude for my upbringing like you have. I knew nothing else. You don't either. I know the lens that you are looking through right now. I was 4th generation Exclusive Brethren. Like many of you are. I was born into it, I grew up in it, I was immersed in it, and my only reference in my life was this one lens. I saw everything through this one lens. Everything was filtered through this one lens. Let's be honest, I wasn't encouraged or allowed to have any other lens, and neither are you. I saw, and you see, everything through the lens of the person that you call your man of God. Maybe you have never really considered that. I remember that feeling and that lens well. How do I see that lens today, nowadays? In a way, I don't really want to tell you. I love and accept you as you are, unconditionally. I don't require you to change your lens, to change my love, attitude and stance towards you. However, I do want to tell you about a love that I never dreamed was possible or true. It is perfect love, which is not perfect according to man's experience and interpretations. This love confounds the wise. This love is way off the scale of man's knowledge of good and evil interpretations of love. I have come to know this perfect love in a way that can best be described as unconditional love. This is where you are loved without any conditions required on your part, and where you are loved no matter what condition you are in, unconditionally. This perfect unconditional love does not have terms and conditions, stipulations, requirements, demands, obligations, prerequisites, boundaries, timescales, or laws to obey. To receive it, you just have to believe. Not believe to get it, but believe to realize that it is and was already there waiting patiently for you to open your door and allow it in. This is because this perfect, unconditional love will not violate your will. It will not push your door down and force its way in. It will not roll its eyes in frustration and get annoyed with you when you refuse to accept its gentle knock on your door. It will not threaten to punish, hurt, or destroy you. There is no fear in this love. Absolutely no fear whatsoever. Not one iota of fear, in fact. There's nothing to be scared of. There is no fear that one day this love will lose patience with you. There is no fear that it will ever run out of time. This is because it is eternal. It lasts forever. It never gives up. It never changes. It never changes its unconditional nature. It never eventually introduces conditions. It never puts you under the remotest form of pressure to conform or obey. It does say follow, but only in the meekest, humblest, gentlest of ways, so gentle, just like a still small voice, that if you're making a noise, you might not even hear it. If man is making a big noise in your life by putting pressure on you, telling you that you are under law, giving you conditions to meet, placing boundaries around your life, expecting you to meet certain requirements, any requirements, tying you into terms and conditions, controlling any aspect of your lifestyle via rules, commanding you to follow him, teaching you that your identity is determined by your level of conformity to his latest dictates, demanding unswerving loyalty to whatever he tells you to believe, then you are unlikely to hear the still, small, ever so gentle voice. This is the voice of perfect, unconditional love that will just keep you in his heart, hold you in his affections, maintain steadfast hope and faith in you, and will wait and wait until the day you realize that the noise of rules, regulations, laws, conditions, and expectations were never, ever going to transform you into realizing that you are a love child of God. They were only capable of enslaving you, dividing you, ostracizing you, prosecuting you, and condemning you, and separating you, self-righteousifying you, and eventually killing you. When you see the end, and I mean the very end of man's noise, then with great relief and abandon, you give in and give up your attempts to conform to man. You will then realize that there is nowhere else to go but into the eternal arms of perfect, unconditional love. Love that is for you, not against you. Love that died for his enemies. A love that casts out all fear. A perfect love that never fails. Unconditional love is a person. Not a person who evolves and changes laws for you and demands your obedience or else. No, the person I'm referring to is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Do you know him? So, dear brother or sister, which includes all mankind, here is why I write this letter. He is why I write this letter to you. I only have one message for you. Don't follow man, follow him.